So unfortunately, it doesn't look like I've brought any of the good weather back with me from Paros. Coming home to weather like this in July is quintessentially British, but there we go. So I actually got back from Paros about a week ago, and I've just been doing some retouching for the job and catching up on my sleep as well, because I was there for 4 days and probably got about 18 hours sleep across like the entire trip. It's definitely one of the most physically demanding shoots that I think I've ever done. It was incredibly exhausting. The weather was amazing, but just brutally hot like to shoot in, which is funny because I feel like a lot of the time if I ever speak to anyone who doesn't work in this industry or who, you know, doesn't go on shoots and stuff like that, and I tell them that I'm going to places like Paros, I think people think that it's like a holiday, and it's just so far from it. Yeah, probably one of the most physically demanding shoots that I've ever done, just in the sense that we were doing really early call times to get the blue hour lighting in the morning, and then we were doing like wrap times, like I think on one of the, yeah, we were wrapping at like 9 p.m. as well, just so we could get shots at golden hour as well. So super long days, incredibly hot weather, and not that much sleep, but it's probably one of my favorite shoots that I've done definitely this year for sure. I haven't actually done a swim campaign before either, so I'm pretty happy to have kind of added something new to my portfolio. The shoot isn't actually out yet. I would overlay some of the shots, but I think this video is probably going to end up releasing before the shoot itself actually comes out, but I will be posting the images on my Instagram, I think like next week, so if you want to have a look at those, then be sure to go and look at my Instagram, and I'll be posting some stuff on there. When I knew I was going to Paros, I had every intention of doing like another kind of BTS video similar to the last one that I did in Paris. If you haven't seen that one, I'll put a link somewhere up on the screen now so you can go and check that one out. So because we were shooting on like beaches and stuff like that, I think it didn't really make any sense. There wasn't really anywhere that I could safely put like this camera when I was filming or anything, and we were moving around too much as well. So yeah, didn't get any BTS on the actual shoot, but just thought I'd drop in some scenic content at the start of this video just to kind of show you a little bit of what the island looked like. Smashed it, really good shoot, really happy how it's all kind of come together in general. So I'm actually just working from home this week and just doing some errands and stuff, but I wanted to kind of make a video because I feel like even though the last one that I did was the behind the scenes of the shoot that I did in Paris, and then next week I'm actually going to New York as well, so I'll definitely be getting a video for that shoot as well. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more realistic to kind of show what a kind of like week in the life actually looks like, because even though it's great to go to like these different countries and do these shoots, I don't think that that's in any way, shape or form like a fair representation of what an average week actually does look like. Obviously we're in the middle of summer right now, so a lot of brands are looking to go overseas and shoot location stuff, but for the rest of the year and just the majority of the time, that's not what I'm spending my weeks doing. So I wanted to kind of do a different video this time and just kind of show some of the stuff that I'm doing this week, working on retouching, a couple of client calls, and just kind of getting everything prepared before I go to New York next week. And yeah, just kind of try documenting something a little bit more realistic, I guess. I'm going to head into Manchester this afternoon because I want to pick up a couple of things ahead of my trip to New York next week, and also go and have a look in Unitom and Village Books, which are two really cool like independent bookstores that sell like photography books and fashion magazines and things, so hopefully pick up some stuff in there as well. I also wanted to try doing this whole video just shooting with my iPhone, which is what's filming me now, and all of the intro footage that I got when I was in Greece was all shot on my iPhone 15 Pro Max as well. So yeah, I want to see how this looks ahead of going to America next week and see if this works as a run and gun setup. So I'll show you the setup that I've got going on right now. I just want to see how it looks and if I'm happy with it compared to shooting with like a mirrorless camera. That's the plan for today. So I literally just have my iPhone 15 Pro Max using the Blackmagic camera app. All of the footage is recording direct to the little solid state drive that's on the back of my phone. Picked this up from Amazon. It just attaches to the back of the case with the MagSafe magnet. And then the secret sauce of the setup is the Moment Quick Lock VND filter that I've got on here. I'll put a link to this in the description below if you want to check it out. You do need to get the Moment phone case as well so that you can actually attach it. It's kind of like an all-in-one deal. But yeah, it's so easy to just be able to turn the VND wheel to adjust the exposure. I have tried using the larger versions of this before, you know, that you get the bigger sort of 67mm mounts that you can clip onto your phone. They are good, like they will do the job. My only thing with that is that because the filter is so big, it instantly makes the phone not pocketable anymore, which I think kind of defeats the object of using your phone as like a vlog or like a camera to sort of film with. The whole point with this is that I wanted to make something that was like super pocketable, very streamlined. I can just whip it in and out of my pocket. I never ever don't have my phone with me. Just makes the whole process of just filming things a lot easier when I'm out and about. So that is what I'm trying to roll with this week.
T-shirts, which is what I mentioned to you the other
Yes,
week.
yeah.
We've also got in.
Really, in terms of like logistics at this point, I think it seems like it's pretty straightforward. If like what I see isn't really quite suitable, like I say, in my head I can kind of visualize it, and I think it could work, but it just depends.
We will put together a more visual guide so you can have a look at exactly what we were shooting.
You know, timings and stuff like that. But I guess that'll come after we've established where we're actually going to be sort of shooting it.
When we've done it, we've had like one central base and we've been able to like walk
around. Right, okay. So one way or another, we should know by sort of like Wednesday, I would have thought. And hopefully by then we'll have some news from like the casting as well.
Well, enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, same to you. So something that I was thinking about this morning after picking up a couple of new photography books when I was in Manchester the other day is kind of like the importance of trying to reference as much material as you can offline, whether that be in like books or magazines or wherever it might be coming from, because I think that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying for 1 second that you shouldn't use social media or Pinterest and Cosmos and stuff like that, because I definitely do use those platforms for finding like quick references. I think the problem lies with anything that's kind of internet based is that on the one hand, the internet gives you kind of unfiltered access to all the reference material and inspiration that you might ever want to kind of come across. But at the same time, because everything works off of algorithms, a lot of the stuff that you're seeing on your socials and your, you know, Pinterest and whatever it might be is being fed to you by the same algorithm that's also feeding the same content to your like competition or like other people within your niche who are creating similar work to yourself. And I think that it's a slippery slope to kind of only ingest inspiration through that material, if that makes sense. One thing that I've seen quite a few times over the past couple of years is when brands inquire with me about doing a shoot with them, I'll often see a lot of the same images over and over again. And this isn't all coming from the same brand, this will be coming from multiple different brands who are all kind of unbeknownst to each other. The people who work within some of these brands are all being fed the same kind of reference material when they're looking themselves on like Pinterest and social media, if that makes sense. So I think that using magazines and photography books, or even like film and cinema, and just kind of avoiding stuff that's on the internet or on social media can be quite a refreshing way to like digest new inspiration that maybe isn't being seen by all the same people who work within your field. You know, even kind of like putting all that aside, there's just something so much more refreshing and tactile, I think, by actually digesting work in like a printed format. Even when I'm on like social media, I might see an image that I think is absolutely phenomenal and I'll stop on it and I'll, you know, give it a like or whatever, but realistically I'm only kind of hovering on that image for like a couple of seconds and then I just scroll past it onto the next thing. Whereas I think the way that you sit with work and like digest it visually when it's printed is like a very different experience. I think it can give you like a new appreciation for what it is you're actually looking at, whereas I think sometimes things that are being fed to you via screens or smartphones and the internet can feel a bit disposable, for want of a better word. But anyway, that's just my thoughts, just kind of ending the week on a little bit of a rant there. Trying to have a bit of a chilled one today. As I say, I'm just kind of looking at some reference points and inspiration ahead of New York, packing my stuff, and then I'll be flying out there tomorrow afternoon. So I'll be sure to try and get as much video footage as I can while I'm out there, get a bit more BTS, because obviously I didn't really have much BTS going on at all in this video. If you stayed till the end, then thank you, I appreciate you. Also, it was great to actually see some people kind of giving some feedback on the last video, but if there's anything in particular that you would like to see me kind of like dive into more, drop me a comment and let me know, and I'll try and factor that into future videos. But for now, that is me, and I'm out of here.